Hello and welcome to episode 12 of my A to Z stitch series. We're on L this week and we're learning the lace flower stitch. As always, we're going to spin the spinner and find out what we're making. And it's a bookmark. For this project, you'll need your yarn. I'm using acrylic, but some sort of cotton yarn would definitely be better suited as it would really help to define the flowers. To help myself in that regard, I'm sizing down from a 4mm to a 3mm hook, which will also help make this a nice bookmark size. You'll also need scissors, tapestry needle, and an optional stitch marker. But let's get started. Start by making a slip knot and placing it on your hook, and then we're going to chain a multiple of 8 plus 2. You will need at least 16 to achieve the full effect of this design, so I'm doing 16 plus 2 for a total of 18 chains. Row 1 is super easy. All we're doing is single crocheting across the row. So start by turning your chain over because we're going to be working into the back bumps of our chain. Skip the first chain and insert your hook into the second back bump and make a single crochet. So yarn over, pull up a loop, then yarn over and pull through both loops on your hook. Continue working a single crochet into every back bump all the way to the end, and that's where I'll meet you for the next row. Alrighty, row 2. Start by chaining 1 and turning your work. That chain 1 does not count as a stitch, so we're going to make a single crochet into the very first stitch. And then chain 1. And now we're going to skip 3 stitches and work our first little puffy flower into the 4th stitch. And so our puffy flower consists of a puff stitch, chain 2, puff stitch, chain 2, puff stitch. So to make a puff stitch, first yarn over and then insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, making sure to wiggle and raise your hook up to lengthen the loop, and then do that again, yarn over, insert your hook and pull up a loop to the same height, and then do it one more time, yarn over, insert your hook and pull up a loop. You should now have 7 loops on your hook. Yarn over one more time and pull through all the loops. First puff done. Now chain 2, and we're going to make another puff stitch into the same space. Once you're done, go ahead and chain 2 again and make one more puff stitch into the same space again. It's already looking so cute. And now we're going to chain 1 and then skip the next 3 stitches and work a single crochet into the 4th one. And then we're just going to repeat that until we reach the end of the row. So chain 1, skip 3 and make a puffy flower into the 4th stitch. So make your puff stitch. Chain 2, make another puff, Chain 2 again, and make your final puff. Then finish it by chaining 1, skip 3 stitches and make a single crochet into the 4th, which is the final stitch of the row. How are we all doing so far? Not the easiest, but super doable, right? Let's get ready for row 3 now. Start by chaining 3, which does count as a double crochet, and then turn your work. Make a double crochet into the very first stitch. And then chain 2. We're going to skip these chains in this first puff, and we're going to make a single crochet into the second puff. If you're getting confused about which is the right stitch, it's the one right above the puff. You should be able to easily insert your hook into it, unlike the chains, which would be a bit harder. Once you're done, then we're going to chain 2. And now we're going to work 3 double crochets into the next single crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook into the single crochet, yarn over and pull up a loop, then yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on your hook, then yarn over again and pull through the last 2. Make 2 more double crochets into the same stitch. And so now if you started with a longer starting chain than me, then you'll continue repeating those steps across the row until you get to the single crochet before the last flower, which is where I am now. And so to finish this row, we're going to chain 2, work a single crochet into the second puff of the flower, chain 2 again, and work 2 double crochets into the very last stitch. Time for row 4. Start by chaining 3 and turning your work. Now make a half double crochet into the very first stitch. Then chain 2. And now work a puff stitch into the same stitch as our half double crochet. So the same stitch. Then chain 1. And work a single crochet into this next single crochet from our previous row. Now chain 1 again, and we're going to make a puffy flower into the second double crochet of our 3 double crochets. So make your first puff stitch, chain 2, make the second puff stitch, chain 2, and make the last puff stitch. Then chain 1 again, and work a single crochet into the next single crochet from our previous row. And again, if yours is longer than mine, then you'll repeat those steps all the way to your last single crochet. And since that's where I am, to finish this, we're going to chain 1 and work a puff stitch into the top of the chain 3. So yarn over, find the last chain of the turning chain, and make a puff stitch. Then chain 2, and finish with a double crochet in the same space. Row 5. This is a super easy row. Start by chaining 1 and turning your work. Make a single crochet in the very first stitch. Now chain 2, and we're going to work 3 double crochets into the next single crochet. Once you're ready, then you're going to chain 2 again and single crochet into the second puff of the flower. And continue repeating that to the end of the row. Chain 2, work 3 double crochets into the next single crochet, and once you reach the end, we're going to chain 2 and work a single crochet into the half double crochet from the previous row. Row 6, this is the last row before this turns into a 4-row repeat. Start by chaining 1 and turning your work. Make a single crochet in the very first stitch. Now chain 1 and make a puffy flower into the second of the 3 double crochets. So puff stitch, chain 2, puff stitch, chain 2, and your final puff stitch. When you're done, chain 1, and then make a single crochet into the next single crochet. And then you'll repeat that to the end of the row. So chain 1 and make another puffy flower in the second double crochet. Then chain 1 and finish the row with a single crochet in the last stitch. Like I said before, it's now a 4-row repeat, so feel free to pause here or take a screenshot. I repeated it 3 times for my bookmark, and once you're happy with yours, we'll weave in the ends and I'll give you some thoughts and ideas for this stitch. So this is the right side of the project and this is the wrong side. You can see that the flowers just look a little bit off on this side. This is the side that we want to weave our ends in on. And we're just going to weave as normal. Go through nearby stitches, through the single crochets and puff stitches until it's all hidden. And same with the top end, just go through nearby stitches, go up, down, all around until it's fully secured. And that's it. I asked you guys which stitch you'd like to learn, and this was a super, super, super popular answer. I was a little bit nervous just because it seemed pretty complicated, but all in all, it wasn't too bad. Definitely not a mindless pattern. I was constantly checking the instructions, and I won't lie, I also had to frog it a few times when I realized I mixed up steps, so easiness, maybe like a 4 out of 10. I do think beginners could do this, but I can also see it being pretty frustrating. But cuteness, off the charts. This is so pretty, so stunning. Definitely one of the prettiest stitches I've learned so far. I'm so happy I tackled this stitch because it's by far one of the most gorgeous bookmarks I've ever owned. Such a beautiful stitch. Now let's talk about project ideas. First and foremost, I am not a shawl girly per se, but I think this would be a perfect stitch for a light, airy shawl. Possibly a beach cover up or a little tank top. It could also make a really pretty placemat maybe. I don't have the willpower for it, but a blanket with this stitch would have to become a cherished family heirloom. I'm struggling to think of a lot of project ideas, but it would definitely work for a lot of different things. Finally, am I going to reuse or retire this stitch? Honestly, I'm probably retiring it. I love mindless stitches that become second nature, so constantly having to reference the instructions was driving me crazy, and it would drive me crazy in the future. Maybe if I come up with something too good to not make, I'll use it again, but deep down, I just know I won't. I'm going to cherish this bookmark forever though. And that was it for this week. If you're still here watching right now, then thank you and I love you. Thanks so much for being here, whether you've been following along for the whole series or just popped in for this one. It really means so much to me. If you'd like to help support my channel, then a like and a comment goes a long, long way. And don't forget to subscribe and turn notifications on for more. I post 2 tutorials every week, one for the stitch series and another fun random project like decor, bookmarks, small wearables. But thank you again so, so much from the bottom of my heart. And as always, happy crocheting and stay lucky. Bye!